welcome to CFP Shiloh YouTube channel. My name is Yuko. I'm a fitness and sports instructor. Today's workout is upper body mobility routine. If you're looking for a low body warm-up routine, I have done it before. I put the link in the description below. So today's workout, you need some equipment to do the upper body warm-up routine. Use it. I prescribe this one in my program. If you don't have any warm-up routine for your upper body, I would suggest you to do it. You can use it as a warm-up routine, or you can use it as a mobility session and separate. That's your choice. But I will give you some tools to work on. So, equipment that you need is foam roller. If you have a small one or a larger one, or a little bit wider one, you can use any kind of foam roller. If you don't have one, but if you have a Lacrosse ball, that will be useful. And also some kind of medicine ball or something that you can hold on to the front. So I grabbed the medicine ball, but if you have a bigger foam roller, you can use that one for the flexion part. And some kind of weight. I have a kettlebell lightweight to do some halo, and a stick. I have a regular stick or dowel, or you can use a hockey stick, golf club, anything that's long enough that you can grab on and you can move around. And the last one is a resistance band. So light intensity resistance band that you can move a little bit of resistance in a full range. And I will explain the exercises next. Before we go on to the warm-up routine, let me explain why is it important to do upper body mobility routine or warm-up routine. Shoulder is a really mobile joint. It's a ball and socket joint similar to your hip. It moves in all directions. It's supposed to move in all directions. However, your neck and your shoulder and upper back alignment and mobility will limit how well or how effectively your arm can move. So in this warm-up routine, I will address your thoracic spine mobility, so upper back mobility, and scapular retraction and contraction to help your scapula move a little bit more freely and more effectively, so that your shoulder joint, the greater humeral joint, will sit in a more stable and effective position, so that your upper extremity will be stable, and also it will be more effective to carry your energy to your upper extremity. For the disclaimer, I will select those exercises to address the thoracic thoracic mobility and the scapular retraction contraction exercise. But if you have any other exercise that you do for your warm-up routine, please keep that one for your warm-up routine. This is my opinion of what it needs to be done to get ready for the upper body warm-up and mobility routine. So first one is the formal thoracic extension. So you will start with laying down. And thoracic extension, so basically your scapula, your top of your neck, your upper back, basically extension exercise to help you move a little bit better. So you will lay down to the foam roller, your bums are down to the ground. So it's like the bottom of your shoulder blades, your hands at your ear or your head to support your cervical, your neck, to stabilize so you're not extending from your neck. You're moving from your upper back, so T-spine. From here, you're laying down slowly to extend only from your upper back. If you start arching from your lower back, you start moving from your lumbars. You don't want to move from there. You want to move only from your upper back. So nice and tight core, bumps down on the ground, and then focusing on moving from your T-spine, extending from rib cage as far as you feel comfortable to go, and come back, and then move up or down. It's depending on where you are in the upper back. Move around. I'm at the bottom of the shoulder blade, so I'm scooching a little bit up. Same thing, nice and bumps down, tight core if you need to, and then extend, moving from your upper back as far as you feel comfortable, and come back, and then move down. So move around your upper back 3 to 5, depending on how tight you are or how mobile you are. So listen to your body and don't force your spine to move. It does not move, it does not move. So as you do more, it will get better at moving. So if you get to the top, you can come in down 3 or 5 times, depending on how comfortable you are moving from your upper back. Like so. So that's the first thing, thoracic extension. If you don't have femoral, you have peanut ball, same thing. Well, it's a small movement, so it's gonna be on you sitting on your between spine from here, and then hands on your shoulder for this one. So tuck your chin in, and a small extension, and come back, and move down. Same thing. So small extension, and don't hold your breath. Keep breathing for this one too. So this one is a little bit more smaller spot, so find that might be like only between the shoulder blades. That might be the only spot that I can move with this one. If you have a little bit bigger femoral, that might be a little bit easier to move your more than one vertebrae at a time for this thoracic extension. So next one, we do the extension, so moving on the back movement. So we'll move on a little bit more front flexion movement pattern. For this one, if you have a bigger femoral, you can hold it in front, like so you can make it round back. Or you can grab the pillow or roll your blankets and you can hold it in front. But I will use the medicine fold for this one. It's nice and round, easy for me to hold. So from here, nice and tall, make sure you're not rounding from your lower back. You want to move from your thoracic. So hold it nice and high. Grab, so your scapula come protracted, so move your arms slightly outwards, your shoulder blades moves outwards. From here, you grab the medicine ball, or whatever you have in front of you. Then from here, you will hinge from your spine to coming forward. So if I hold it a little bit lower. So round. Once you tuck in as far as you can go without rounding from your lower back. You want to keep the lower back in the same spot. You want to only move from your upper back. From here, once you go as far as you feel comfortable to go, you go into the right or left, so a little bit of rotation. So you only move in from your thoracic spine, so T-spine. So go up and move back down. Rotation, and come back to the flexion. And then go into the other way, so go around. So if you feel like your back is start rounding, keep your core tight, bracing your core, and then try to move only from your thoracic spine, like so. And then if you wanted to move the ball a little bit lower, so it will change where it's going to hinge. So if I hold it higher, it's going to be bending from higher part of the thoracic. If you hold it a little bit lower, and coming a little bit lower part of my thoracic, rounding and rotation. So I did one, and then similar to the extension, do 3 to 5, so one side, the other side, and move down a little bit, and on one side, the other side. So take your time focusing on you moving from your thoracic spine, so surrounding shoulder blades. So not too low, but it's like between below, like bottom of your shoulder blades to the top of your shoulder blades. So that's where you want to move most from. So that's a thoracic flexion and a rotation. Do 3 to 5 times in each direction. And once that one is done, hopefully that will bring you a little bit more awareness to your shoulder blades and also to your thoracic spine. Alright. The shoulder circle. So with the stick, using a stick, whatever the width that feels comfortable for you, from the front and back shoulder circle, go around and come back and around and come back. So do 5 to 10, depending on how comfortable you are. If you need to go wider, just go wider. If you feel comfortable as you go more, do more repetition. You might be able to come in narrower. If you go around, go back and front, is not comfortable for you, keep it wide, go around that way, go side, and then come back, and going to the side, and come back. Do 5 to 10 for the circle in front and back, or go side and side, and come back to the middle. So this moves your shoulder joint, also a little bit elbow, and also helps your, scapula too, a little bit like retraction and protraction. So bigger range of motion is better. And do 5 to 10, and in front and back, and then rotation side and side. And now move on to a little bit more specific movement for your shoulder external rotation and internal rotation. External rotation, so you're moving outwards, that's the external rotation. Internal rotation, moving inwards. So external rotation, start with your palms facing up, like so you're carrying the plate stick, come from outside and grab the palms facing up and then grab the stick. The other hand from the bottom. From here you will rotate your arms to the side, external rotate, and come back. So go as far as you feel comfortable to go, and come back. So do 5 to 10 in each arm for each direction. So that's the external rotation. And then switch to the other side. So palms up, elbow bend, sticks come from outside, grab the stick from, hopefully you can see, grab your thumb and then second finger, index. And then from here, elbow forward, and then external rotate. So you're external rotating from your shoulder and a little bit from your elbow. If you have any discomfort, do not push too far. Or if you have risk of dislocating your shoulder, please be careful. So that's the external rotation, do 5 to 10. And internal rotation, so your hands sticking behind, hands one hand in the top, one hand in the bottom, and lifting the back one up, so pulling forward and come back. So internal rotation. Fold the bottom hand. So do 5 to 10, and then switch to the other side. Again, when you're moving from your shoulder, it's moving from your shoulder. If you're moving from anywhere else, try to pay attention to the other joint and then see how easy it is to move or how hard it is to move. And then just notice how it feels for your shoulder. And then again, mobility works, takes time. As you do more, it will get easier to move, and then your joint will get a little bit looser to move within your range. Alright, so that's the external rotation and internal rotation. 5 to 10. Now coming down to the ground, and then do thoracic rotation. So thoracic rotation, so up, back, and some rotation. We did the flexion and rotation, kind of similar. So, full point kneeling, hands and knees, hands behind your ear or shoulder, depending on how comfortable you are. From here, you're rotating to out, and come back in, and move out, and come back in. So when you move rotation, you want to limit the movement from your lower back. You want to move more from your thoracic spine to move and rotate. So if you want to keep your hands on your shoulder to help you focus more movement from your upper back, you can do so. So do 5 to 10 on the last two, sorry. 5 to 10 on one side and then switch to the other side. So from here, you want to rotate from thoracic spine. Ooh. Keep it tight core so that you're not rotating too much from your lower back. You want to move more from the thoracic spine to rotate. Like so. So 3 to 5, 5 to 10, and on one side. Now, move on to keep on the 4-point kneeling and shoulder protraction and retraction. protraction. Protraction is moving your shoulder blades away from your spine, and retraction, move your shoulder blades towards your spine. When you do protraction, you want to use straightest anterior, so side, like rib cage muscle. And when you bring your shoulder blades back in, you want to focus on your lower and the mid traps to bring your shoulder blades back in. You don't want to use too much in the upper traps to bring your shoulder blades back in and out. So focusing on your lower part of your shoulder blades muscles to move your shoulder blades out and in. So, 4-point kneeling and scapular retraction, protraction. So you push your shoulder blades out. So focusing on moving from the bottom of your rib cage to pull your shoulder blades away from your spine. And bring your shoulder blades back in the middle. Focusing on your lower trap without moving your elbow. So do 5 to 10. Protraction and retraction counts as 1. So when you do protraction and retraction, you want to relax your traps as much as you can. Yes, it will engage a little bit, but you don't want to use your trap for the main muscle mover for your scapular movement. You want to use the other muscle group to help you stabilize your shoulder blades. So do 5 to 10, protraction and retraction. If it is hard to do on the floor, do it on the wall. It's a little bit easier to focus on moving from your bottom of your shoulder blades and push out, push back in, push out, and in. Like so. So try to be left and right equal movement, and then do 5 to 10, retraction, protraction. And stay on the floor. Last one is on the floor, is shoulder circle on the floor. So 4-point kneeling without bending your elbow. You're moving your shoulders forward for the circle, backwards for the circle. So hands and knees from here, move your shoulder. That's backwards. And forward circle. So do 3 to 5 circle forward and 3 to 5 circle backwards to help you move your shoulder a little bit more smoothly. And one more thing for the mobility exercise is kettlebell halo. I use kettlebell, but if you have a dumbbell, you can use a dumbbell as well. If you're using kettlebell, bottom up, holding on home, keep your weights closer to you, and elbow up, and go around your head and coming back. So you need to move a lot from your elbow and also shoulder to keep your weights close to you, nice and straight, nice and strong core. So do 3 to 5 in one direction and do 3 to 5 in the other direction. So if you have a dumbbell, you can do similar, or plates. So from here, you're moving around your head, lift your elbow, go around your head, and come back close to you. Make sure you don't go away from your body, keep it close, go around your head, and come back, around your head, and come back, like so. So do 3 to 5 in one direction, 3 to 5 in the other direction. And activation exercise. So once you do mobility exercises, if I prescribe only one set of each, but if you feel like you need to do 2 sets, please do so. Listen to your body, see how it feels. And last 2 exercises are activation exercises with the band. Shoulder abduction and shoulder external rotation. Abduction, basically this is the shoulder abduction. You can do palms upwards abduction or palms downward abduction and use a slightly different muscle group. I will go with the palms upward abduction. So light intensity about shoulder width or a little bit wider. From here, keep your shoulder down, make sure your shoulder is not shrugged. Keep your shoulder down, squeezing the bottom in the middle of the shoulder width. Down and in. From here, you pull the bands as far as you can go. And then nice and control coming back forward. And pull. And come back. So do 10 abduction, nice and control, focusing on your retraction. And nice and control, not protraction, but you're coming back to neutral. So do 10 abduction. Once that one is down, you give your shoulder external rotation, that's external rotation. This is external rotation as well. So let's do both arms together, shoulder external rotation. So palms up, elbow close to your body, elbow bend, 90 degrees. From here, shoulder down, and then you're moving your arms to the side. So when you're moving your arms to the side, it's not your arms going away. It's rotating from your shoulders. Like imagine you're like a door hinge. So you're moving from your shoulder to rotating out. Come back. So as you rotate, you want to focus on your back side of the shoulder to pull your shoulder blades back in. So it might be only like a small movement. You might be able to move far, depending on how strong it is or how stable you are. But focus is to activate the muscle group on your shoulder to move it. External rotation movement pattern to activate the muscle group to stabilize your shoulder. So it's not how far you can go, how well you can control the movement that's more important. So do 10 shoulder external rotation. Make sure shoulder is not shrugged, shoulder down. Focus on your external rotators in the back of your shoulder to rotate your arms. And optional for the last one is shoulder retraction. If you have a chin-up bar, you can hang. And then you can do shoulder retraction, so hanging from here, and then pull your shoulder blades down, and come back. So relax, and pull, and come back, and pull, and come back. So each time you pull, same thing, you're going to focus on your lower mid shaft to pull in, and then use your serrators to push out, and pull back in, and push out. So do 5 to 10, like shoulder retraction. That will be the activation exercises. Okay, that was the warm-up routine. You can do this as a warm-up routine, or you can use as a mobility routine, depending on how mobile you are, how stable you are. For the conclusion, well, let's go over what we have done. So we worked on thoracic extension to help you move your upper back to move a little bit better. And we did a flexion and rotation. Thoracic spine moves a little bit better in rotation than your lumbar to move the rotation. So you want to, if you're moving rotation, you want to need to come from your upper back to move some rotation movement pattern. So we did extension, we did a flexion and a rotation. And also we did the shoulder circle, front to back, and also legs go circle around this way and this way. And we did external rotation, internal rotation to help you shoulder move in all the directions. And full point kneeling, so your stable spine. From there, you did the rotation, thoracic rotation and sideways to move one side and then on the other side. And also we did a retraction exercise to a little bit activate those muscle groups that need to be activated in order to move your shoulder blades. So retraction, and shoulder circle. So nice and control, shoulder circle, go up and down. And kettlebell halo for the mobility and instability point of view. You work on your close to your body. So handling the weight, nice and controlled movement pattern. And activation exercise for the abduction and an external rotation and hanging retraction. Those are the exercises that I put together for the mobility and warm-up routine. Conclusion. So shoulder need to be mobile, but at the same time it needs to be stable. So that's why you need to do the mobility work, but it's not like jello floppy, then that's not good. That's too loose. It needs to be stable, and also you have to have control to move it within the range. And also in order to keep the good mobile shoulder, you need to have a front and back balance. Usually, well, in general, we do more front things like driving, typing, writing, reading, and like everything is in front. So like more front focused movement pattern. So we need to work on the front and the back balance to keep your shoulder in healthy position and a stable position. And if you have any pain or issue with your shoulders, please consult your doctors to figure out what's going on. Shoulder is a really finicky joint to figure out what is happening. It's easy to get impinged or it's easy to torn, so make sure you consult your doctors if you have any issues with your shoulder. There you go. That's the wrap up for the upper body mobility routine today. Again, if you're looking for the lower body warm-up routine, similar things, then see the link in the description below for the lower body mobility warm-up routine. Thank you again for joining me for today's mobility session, and see you next time.